Hey there, it's Dusty Thunder again with another AITA story for you. This one is, am I the astronaut for telling my sister she sounds bitter and jealous? Man, it'd be awesome if this was OP from the cake and wedding PhD story. I, 28 female, gave birth to my daughter nearly 5 months ago. My sister Jenny, 34, has 3 kids with her husband. Before I gave birth, Jenny gave me several warnings about postpartum depression and how hard the baby will be on my marriage. I took all of the advice she gave me, but thankfully, my experience hasn't been as horrible as she warned. I'm extremely lucky and privileged in my situation, and I acknowledge that. I married a man who comes from a culture where women are doted on and not allowed to take on any chores outside of the baby within the first year postpartum. For the first 2 months, all I did was look after our daughter. My husband and his family took care of everything else. He took the first 2 months off from work, so he was home with me the entire time. We've bonded in a way I couldn't ever imagine. It's made us closer and made me love him 1,000 times more, seeing how much he loves being a dad and how excited he is to be involved in everything. My husband's family would cook us fresh meals every single day for the first 2 months as well. They say that's what's normal in their culture, and a woman who has just given birth should be taken care of. They would also come over and together with my husband, clean the whole house, do laundry, meal preps, etc. It makes me emotional just thinking of how much they've done for us and how beautiful my experience in motherhood has been so far. My daughter is also a very easy baby, so I'm blessed all around. What culture is this? Anybody know? Not because I need to know, but I think the rest of the world needs to know. Jenny lives in another country, but she would call and check up on me because she was worried I'd have a very difficult time like she did. At first, when I told her that my husband took time off work and that he's been doing all of the cleaning and chores, his family has been cooking for us, etc., she was shocked and said how lucky I was. I agreed. As time goes by, she's been making really shady comments though. I would ignore them and just change the subject, but she really got on my nerves yesterday. My husband went on a business trip for a few days and he was getting back last night. I was making dinner for him when she called and I said I'm making dinner and his favorite dessert because I missed him. She chuckled and said, "Normal women call that just being a mother and a wife, but it's just a fun activity for you." She said it in such a rude tone that I had to ask what she meant. She said, "I'm so out of touch with reality that I can't say something as ridiculous as I'm making my husband dinner because I missed him and not because our family needs to eat." I said she's making a big deal out of nothing. I cook most days. I told her she knows my in-laws cooked for the first 2 months and they don't anymore, so who does she think has been cooking? She said sometimes when she calls, I mention that my husband has made dinner, so it's obviously not me who does it. I said, yeah, he makes dinner sometimes because he's also part of the family, but I do it 90% of the time. He likes making us recipes he sees online, so what exactly is the problem? She said I've basically been babied since my daughter was born, and it drains her when she talks to me because I don't sound like a real mother and wife with how easy I've gotten it. I really lost my head after this comment. I told her not struggling 24/7 doesn't mean I'm less of a mother than her. I take care of my baby, and yes, my husband helps out a lot, but it's his duty as a father. I said she sounds jealous and bitter, and that I'm not going to apologize for not struggling as much as she did, and cut the call. I don't regret it because she was being very rude to me, but she ranted to our brother, and he told me I was being too harsh instead of understanding why seeing me live an easier life than her would be hard on her. He suggested I reach out to her to fix it, but I don't want to. Am I the astronaut? OP states in the comments her husband's family is a mix of Mexican and Salvadorian. The postpartum care culture exists on both sides. Okay. And Candy Thunder left another thought on this one, said this reminds her of the sister who was offended when her sister-in-law watched TikTok for new ideas and she told her to grow up. Yes, this is the question in this case is, am I the astronaut for telling my sister she sounds bitter and jealous? No, because she's bitter and jealous. In my opinion here, it's one thing, you weren't throwing it in her face. She called you. She called you and asked these things. You're supposed to lie? She was being jealous and bitter. I don't know. What were you supposed to say? And it was because of repeated weighted comments like this that she had made, where eventually you just had to be like, okay, explain. Where is this coming from? Because here's the funny part in my opinion here. OP's sister is allowed to take jabs. OP is not allowed to defend herself. Is that the moral of the story here? That's what brother is saying. Brother says she was being too harsh instead of understanding why seeing her live in an easier life would be hard on her. It's fine if it's hard on her. Understand that. Sure. Doesn't mean you get to take free unlimited jabs. And OP had put up with it till this point, had given her free unlimited jabs. You can have free unlimited jabs, but I'm gonna stand up for myself. I get to defend myself, right? This isn't a one-sided fight, is it? Because if so, that's horse shit. She gets to defend herself. NTA. NTA, this sucks. I know that sibling rivalry extends into adulthood as well, and it becomes a competition with some siblings. Many of them can peacefully coexist. My sisters and I peacefully coexist. I don't think that there's any kind of competition or that kind of bullshit going on. I know it exists out there though. And yeah, I mean, she's going to be jealous if you got it better than her. She doesn't have to take jabs at you though. That's the part where, like, yes, OP understands that it's not the same for her sister. Does that mean she needs to lie about it? And does that mean she can't defend herself? No. Horse shit.